Yo, what is up, guys? It's me, Eve, again here, playing new Gacha game that just came out. I'm really excited for this game. I've been playing it a few days for now, and I'm probably planning to play even more because I really like this. And there haven't been a lot of those kind of Gacha games in a while. We haven't seen that one of those, and this is one of those Gacha games that really stood out in terms of some gameplay, because most of the time right now all of the gachas are either idle or turn-based gacha games, and that's, for at least for me as well, it's getting too much of those. Almost all of the gachas are like that, and it's getting boring. So right now, with this game coming out, it's extremely good timing because we've been, a little bit bored of all of that, and now we can feel some new fresh air in the gacha community. But obviously, this game is not like perfect or anything. This is just came out. This is available only for phones. So basically, you can use emulator if you're a computer player, if you play gacha games on computer. But there's gonna be an official release for this game on Steam. So if you're playing on PC, you can download this game for free on the Steam. It's gonna come out in April, so around mid-April. I don't remember the exact time. But before that, you could start playing it already in the emulator, depending on whichever you use, like BlueStacks or LD Player. But there's been some problems if you're gonna download this game, not from the Play Market, but from QApp. This game has some problems with crashing for some reason. I don't know why is it doing like that, but hopefully you'll have a better time. For example, I had the same problem on the BlueStacks, but I downloaded this game on the LD player, and there wasn't any problems with that. So hopefully, if you're downloading it from QApp, hopefully you don't have that problem, or just download it on LD player and you'll be fine. But let's get into most important probably part that you really want to do whenever you get into the gacha. It's gacha system. So there is a few tickets. There's a standard banner where you can get all of these standard characters. There's a weapons banner where you can get all of the weapons, like EX weapons for your standard characters, as well as these. There is a limited banner characters, as well as there's this one. I haven't figured this out, how do I get them yet, because I probably maybe didn't even open this one yet, but I've just started playing, so there's nothing I can do with that one. But right now we have 2 days left for the first limited character that was available here. She's Draconax. This is her hyper form. What this means is there is a few forms for almost every character that are like either limited or S rank characters. For them, there's 2 forms. By that, for example, if you get Long Ang, for example, for first when I just got Long Ang, I was like kind of confused because she looks like Draconax, and I was like, is it her or is it not? But then I was because of this, I was confused because I didn't know that there is a default form, and as well as there is a higher form. As you can see here, this is the Draconax. So you can basically rank them up and get a new form on most of the S rank characters. So for example, on Isel, there is Caspian. MK3 is her robot. So there's a default form. This kind of looks like a, I don't know, dinosaur, kind of. And there's a hyper form. So this is more of a Gundam, an actual Gundam right here. There's a lot of good design, like you can see for yourself. Designs in this game, especially for the hyper forms, are fucking insane. Like this actually looks like Gundams or like an Evangelion robots, or they look insane. Even the characters that are like an A rank look pretty sick to me. So you can see there's a lot of different types of robots that you can use. So in terms of characters, there's different classes in this game. There's Assault, basically a damage dealer. There is specials that are either buffers or debuffers or both. So that's what they specialize on. There's tanks, so heavy is a tank, and there is support. They're the healers, right? So that's pretty simple, nothing too complicated there. But as well as all of the characters has different attributes, as you can see here. For example, this resonance here, there is this one, a nuclear. There is this yellow one, photons. So there's a lot of different type of basically attributes that you will need to use whenever you're facing bosses or maybe chapters, and there's gonna be like, you know, type advantage attributes, and there's gonna be disadvantage attributes, but basically. So this is how the characters look. I'm gonna show you, don't worry, I'm gonna show you the gameplay a little bit later, but there's obviously, I want to talk about, there's a few events going on, there's still time for you to do the events. There's 10 days, so it's pretty easy to finish first like few chapters. It's gonna be pretty easy, and then you can start doing the limited time event, just because purely like the events are a little bit harder than obviously the standard stages on the chapters, and you can do them a little bit later after you progress a little bit, so you can, you know, make your team a little bit stronger. Obviously there's new welcome rewards for every player who just came in. There's a few like a really good rewards, a lot of multis here, 1 2 3 4 5 multis basically, as well as 500 here and 500 here, so it's another multi there, as well as you get for free, you get ISIL, the White Swan version. So there's a few versions of every character as well, not only their forms, but there's a few versions of their characters as well. And it could be a little bit confusing in the beginning because, for example, there's this ISIL, Caspian, and there is this White Swan, basically. And they're different because, for example, this is heavy and this is assault, as well as they have different types of attributes, as you can see here, red one and the green one here. So just for you not to get confused, there's different types of characters as well. Whenever you're going to be choosing the weapons, for example, for the characters as well, you need to look for what characters will be getting the bonuses. For example, here on the White Swan here, you can see, for example, for on Bore, only for White Swan and White Knight EX effects, you will get this effect. So this is where you can see like what type of characters you need to use for this weapon to get a little bit more value, you know, or like perform to the max. Obviously, there's also the calendar, like it's pretty simple one. Whenever you log in, you get the rewards, right? Level rewards for every 5 levels you will get those rewards. So there's also gacha tickets, some other stuff for like a breakthrough, fragments, all of that stuff right here as well. Chapter rewards, for every chapter you get 5 standard banner tickets. Also not a bad stuff. And there's also some other stuff that's going on, like double materials, all of that shit going on. But for now, we can get into the battle. I'm gonna showcase to you how the game works. We'll go for a more, you know, easier one, so I don't need to actually, you know, try hard to play, because some bosses actually require you to play yourself. And but most of the time you can do it on auto. Just if you want, you know, you want to 3-star the level, sometimes it requires you to do it yourself. But as you can see, you can easily move yourself. You can switch between the characters easily, like you can use all of the 4 characters. There's ability on every character like this. There's also the standard attack. There's acceleration here that makes you go faster, and as well as there is another, like a beam that does a lot of damage as well. So this was a boss fight. Obviously, I put the first stage and it was too fast. I didn't even do anything. My girls are doing it by themselves. But there's also auto, so you can put it on auto, and they can do it by themselves. But the thing is, if you're using it on auto, they don't really dodge too much. So if you're going for some boss fight and you need a restart for example, for everyone in your team to survive, bots don't really dodge. Be sure to note that. So you will sometimes need to actually play them yourself, so that the bot, you use the characters for him to dodge the attacks, especially like for tanks who are tanking the boss, and you're trying to take the initiative on your side, so that the boss is attacking the tank and your other characters while they're doing the damage. But that was I'll show you the more of an actual gameplay here with this one. So after some while, you will need to start doing with the two teams. So even if you're like not really needing other S rank characters, you will start needing them after some time, because you will need some teams. So this is basically how you're gonna do it by yourself. So you're gonna start throwing. Now you can use all of the abilities. This is the beam that I was talking about. So all of the enemies are like throwing these projectiles that you probably want to dodge. Obviously, if you don't want to die, or you're not like you could be really okay. This is the ultimate. You can be really tanky, so you don't maybe need to dodge them for only like first levels, but later you will need. Every character has their own ultimate in this game, so like some characters has a little bit bigger ultimates, because they're like are not simple, A rank characters. So if you have ever played Armored Core, it's like a Souls-like game about robots. So it kind of reminds me of that, but more of like an anime version of that, basically. As well as like the mechanics obviously are not so complex as in Armored Core. This is much more simple than that. But this is basically a gameplay. Obviously, it's very easy to do the first chapters of your story, and it's gonna get a little bit harder and harder throughout the whole thing, as well as like there's a hard mode that you can do. All of that gets a little bit harder. So in 2 days, there's gonna be a new character. We'll see who it is. But if you're trying to start the game, you're like trying to know who is the good character to go for, I would suggest you go for Draconex. Try to reroll for her. It's pretty easy, pretty simple to reroll. If you go here to your profile, right here, you can delete your account. If you didn't like the use, for example, you rerolled, you didn't like the rolls, you delete your account, you go back to menu, and you start over. It takes around 5 minutes at max. If you're not reading the story over and over again, you can just skip everything. And whenever you get to the first story here, whenever you get to the screen, so you will see this one pop up. You put it on this, so you have node 1.0 chapter. So you will just go back, and you now can summon. This is how you reroll basically on this game. So again, I highly recommend going for Draconex. She's really good in the beginning here. There's also going to be one more banner here. If you just started, there's going to be another banner that is basically for like a new player banner. You get you can pick one of the S rank characters out of there, and I highly recommend probably Caspian out of all of the characters. She's most like usable out of all of them. Obviously, all of them are okay, but Caspian is probably the better one, as well as she's a tank, and most of characters in this game are either assault or special, so there's not too much of the like as heavy as well as supports. So I would recommend you go for her. I felt like she was a pretty decent character that works pretty good with auto as well as on her own. She is pretty good. And Draconex obviously is probably a must pick if you're starting the game. If you want to start strong, as well as you don't really want to worry about getting some better characters in the future, this is probably a good character for you to have. Other than this, hopefully you liked this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a comment. Tell me what you think about this game. Have you tried it? Maybe if you haven't tried it, you can go and play it a little bit by yourself and then tell me how did you feel, did you like or did you not. But this is it for today. Hopefully you have a great day and I'll see you on the next one.